you join me at a tremendously exciting moment. It's Into Your Head, number 596 for Wednesday. We've a lot to get on with today. Items that need to be attended to, issues that need to be addressed, topics. Oh, topics. We've got lots and lots of topics. We're positively booming to the seams with topics. You've got topics coming out of everywhere. Everywhere the topics come from, you can be damn sure to Christ as hell. I'll be spewing out of these places, or at least in there, excavating them like a coal miner would back in the early 80s before Margaret Thatcher came and killed all the coal miners. Margaret, I don't know if you're aware of this. People outside of the geographical area known as the British Isles, Margaret Thatcher killed all the coal miners. There was a big furore over this in the 80s. She came along and she said, coal miners, you're all down under the ground now. I'm going to get out my shovel and bury you. I'm going to bury you under the ground, and then I can tell you, then you learn the difference between shoveling coal out of a hole and being buried under the coal in the hole. That's what you do. Anyway, hello and welcome to the show. What you're thinking there. You're thinking, Christ all fucking mighty. 90 seconds in and he's already going. And that was just the introductory paragraph. So he's a lot more of that to come. Another 28 minutes and 26 seconds of that. Oh, minus the 27 seconds of this that I've spoken so far. Well, I think you're getting a little, if you don't mind me saying so, and I can't see any earthly reason why you should, you're getting a bit too involved in the production process there. Leave that stuff to me. I'm the one who, I've had half a litre of Dart stimulation drink this morning. So who's more in control? You, who's not even here yet, you're in the future. You have no access to this show yet as I record it. Or me, who's right here with the stimulation drink in my stomach. And more in the glass here. Oh no, the glass is empty. I just downed it. It's on its way down. So that'll kick in as well soon. I've also had a caffeine pill. I've had a 200 megagram capsule of caffeine. I've got 200 megagram internet now. I don't know if I mentioned it. Ironically, the box through which the internet comes into the house is less than 3 feet away from the bottle of energy drink and the bottle of capsules here, which I keep on the windowsill. The internet box is just outside that window. So if that was a plant, I remember when I was a child, we got a house plant and we got a bottle of plant food pills, and you get out 2 a month and you put them into the soil beside the plant, and the plant shoots up as if it's being put on heroin. So if I was to put these capsules into the internet aerial box here, that wouldn't happen because it's not a plant, and that's not plant food, nor is it internet speed food. And also, notwithstanding that, I've got the fastest internet speed that's available from my current provider. So I wouldn't help in any way. If I would, then I've got questions to ask of my internet provider as to why they were holding back. But no. Anyway, 2 cats walk into a bar. One of the cats straight away goes up to the bar and says, "Hello, how the hell are you, barman?" And the barman says, "Hello, how the hell are you, cat?" And the cat says, "That's not an answer. That's just you're just echoing off me, basically. It's lazy conversation conversation, that is. You're supposed to be a professional barman, a professional welcomer of people to your public house, and you're just basically taking the lead from me. If this was a ballroom dance, I'd be leading it. He'd be being led around the ballroom by a cat, and then I tell you, you'd feel pretty stupid. Although admittedly, that's not part of your remit as a barman. You're not expected to be able to dance with a cat. But if you went on dancing on ice, for example, and you went around like that, well, then you wouldn't have a cat with you, because ice is frozen water and cats don't do water. I can tell you, a cat, you would never see a cat dancing around on water. I can be damn sure. Anyway, I have a pint of milk, please, and no ice, because I don't do ice, as I've just explained, not least because it would reduce the quantity of actual milk that's in the pint. You'd put in half a pint of ice into it, and I'd be left ripped off with a mere half pint of milk until the ice melts, in which case then I have a pint of milk, but it's pretty much skimmed milk, watered down milk, even worse. Is there a difference between skimmed milk and watered down milk? Well, I happen to think there is. Skimmed milk is when you remove all the fat. Watered down milk is when you add loads of water. Now, the only situation in which that could be made desirable or excusable would be if water contained fat, in which case you could add to the milk by watering it down, but that's not the case, I think you'll find, unless all of your frigging human scientists are idiots and they've been getting it all wrong for generation upon generation upon generation of cat, and thereby for dozens of generations of oh no, wait a minute, for every generation of humans there's about a dozen generations of cat. That's what I meant. So it's the other way around. Whatever I just said, it's the opposite of that. We're playing the opposites game now, but only by accident, because I made a stumble there. It's not really meant as a game. We're not playing games here. We're sitting. I'm sitting at a bar, and you're standing behind the bar, and I'm trying to order a pint of fucking milk, and I don't know why it's got so frigging complicated. Anyway, yeah, a pint of milk, please. And the barman says, "Certainly, young cat. Would you like some ice in that?" At which point the cat punches him in the face with his paw, which isn't really a punch, it's more of a scratch. He swipes out in a punching motion with the back of his paw and scrapes the barman's nose, and the barman says, "Bad cat, bad kitty cat, get off my bar immediately." And the cat will say, "Oh, I'm not on your bar, I'm on the bar stool. It just looks like I'm on the bar because your mind's eye automatically assumes that I'm a four-legged cat walking around on your bar, when in actual fact, no. We've covered this before in a recent episode. I'm a humanoid cat. I'm up on my hind legs, and I'm sitting on the bar like a human would. So why you can't treat me as a human, I don't know." And the barman will say, "I don't know why you're no, what did he say? He'll say, the reason I'm not treating you as a human is because you just scratched me in the nose like a cat would." And the cat will say, "Would you prefer if I act like a drunken human and punch you in the face and then shoot you in the head? Would you prefer that? Or would you prefer that I act like a cute little kitten and just scratch you, scrape you? Would you prefer a scrape or a gunshot to the head and years of litigation and court appearances? No, you'd be grateful that I'm a cat, and you can just write it off as an accident when petting a cat." And the barman says, "I suppose you have a point there. But still, I have my pride, and I'm now not going to serve you. I'm not going to play servant to frigging someone who's just injured me, be they a cat or a humanoid cat or a cat-eyed human, wherever the fucking hell you are. Get out from my bar immediately and bring your friend with you." And the cat says, "What friend?" And the barman says, "That cat who came in with you, he's your friend, isn't he?" And the cat says, "No, he usually is, but in this particular instance of the two cats walk into a bar genre, he just happens to be another potential customer who walked in with me, and he's now sitting down. I don't know why he hasn't come up to order. Maybe he's hoping he'll meet someone who'll order them a pint, or he'll team up with me and become my friend. I don't know. It's not really my responsibility. It's every cat for himself in these bars, you know, unless you come as a couple. You can be damn sure to Christ as hell that we don't come as a couple. table. And the barman says, "Are you trying to be funny?" And the cat says, "Yes, we're on a comedic podcast. Into Your Head, number 596 for Wednesday from Ireland. Fast approaching its 600th episode. Also possibly fast approaching a short summer vacation holiday break. I don't know. Maybe we'll record ahead and make the break much shorter than it could be. Our automated self will put out some episodes while we're away. I don't know. Remains to be seen. Suffice to say, on with the show." Monkey nuts, that's what they call them. They call them big steaming piles of monkey nuts, big steaming salted monkey nuts. Monkey nuts naturally salted though, because they've been in the sea. How do you naturally salt something? I don't know. You come up with all these animals that seem to come naturally salted. You have naturally salted bacon that's jam-packed with salt, but I'm pretty sure to damn Christ as hell that they don't come from the sea. So where are they getting these salts? I don't know. Is the sea evaporating up into the clouds and they're getting rained on by the salty rain and it lands on the cows? I don't know. The pigs, wherever they are. I was never very good at remembering which meat corresponds to which animal. You have pork and beef and bacon and cabbage and all these things. I don't know which animal is which. I know chicken meat comes from chicken and I'm pretty sure beef comes from cows, but the rest of them, no. No idea. I think bacon comes from either pigs or sheep. Then you have mutton. I suppose when I think about it, I can usually figure it out. I don't like to have to think about it. Ham, bacon, profiteroles. That's not a meat. Oh, you see there's a confusion here because there's other things besides meat as well in the food kingdom, and they cause extra comments. I understand each term on its own, but when you put them all in a big bucket of vocabulary, there's tens of thousands of food groups within the food industry, and when you have to sort them all out on your own, you're stuck there sitting in a freaking supermarket. Butcher oil, they just throw stuff in the fridge now in vacuum packs. You don't have a fella in a hat telling you what's what, which I'm glad of, quite frankly. I don't like going up to a butcher and saying, "Hello, which meat is the cow and which meat is the sheep and which meat is the Santa Claus's reindeer that I don't want to eat because I have a bit of morality and a little bit of childhood innocence still in me yet." No, don't want that. Anyway, yes, I was making some point. I can't remember what it was. Yes, salt. Do the cows get salted and then by the salty rain, and that's how they make bacon? Well, if that's the case, how come when I scratch myself with a paper cut and go out with my paper cut exposed into the rain, it doesn't get stung by the salty rain? Because if you pour salt on a wound, I can tell you, fucking hurts. That's why they say don't pour salt on the wound. They're not doing it just to try and save salt, or because salt is unhealthy and bad for your cholesterol. Well, good for your cholesterol, and it helps it to expand and survive. No. They tell you don't go and pour salt on that wound because it'll fucking hurt. I don't know why they can't be more clear about it than that. People who learn the whole point of these little slogans is to educate people who don't know stuff, so why they can't be clear instead of like a freaking Irish Times cryptic crossword? I don't know. The phrase should be, don't pour salt on the wound because it'll fucking sting like a wasp, and not in a good way. I wonder are wasps salty? I will never know because no one ever catches one and tries to eat it unless they're stuck on some desert island somewhere with no meat and they have to, in which case they don't really have any system of reportage. If they did, they wouldn't be stuck on a desert island. I've been watching Lost for the last week. I'm about a quarter way through the fourth season, and already there's been, I think I've probably seen a wasp at some point. I don't know. There's been one instance of a cat, only one instance of a cat in the entire first 4.25 seasons of Lost. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. If you look at something like House MD, or what else, Law and Order, you'll find there's always was cats in that stuff. Even Murder, She Wrote has cats in it, despite the fact that Jessica Fletcher, inexplicably, despite being an old lady living on her own, does not have a cat. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Not enough cats in Lost, I can tell you. I know you think he's being unreasonable. It's not the frigging Animal Planet channel, but I mean, compared to other shows have cats in them everywhere. This island, you may think it's an island, there's not going to be cats on it, but there's one cat on that island depicted in the show, and if you can have one cat, I can tell you by the laws of reproduction, you can have dozens of cats, unless of course the cat is being fixed, or there's no other corresponding cat of the opposite sex with which to reproduce, I suppose. But there's ways around that, as we all know. That's how we all evolved. Species interacted with each other. Species merged. Adam had sexual intercourse with Eve. One of them now, they produced children that were basically a mixed breed, a cross between a human being and a rib, because of course Eve was a rib. Eve was made out of a rib, so we're all half human, half rib. You're a half rib. I don't know if you realise this. When you go out to your frigging diner and you say, hello, I'll have some barbecue ribs, please. You're basically being a cannibal. You're eating ribs. Absolutely fucking disgusting. And then you have the nerve to lecture people about morality. You'll say, it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Well, the only reason it was Adam and Eve and not Adam and Steve is because Steve is a fucking stupid name for a girl.
If you think that was interesting, this serves to create an artificial bridge between segments. Yes, that's right, at this very moment, Neil is probably, cutting and pasting something else that will follow. Right there.
This is an advertisement of sorts. An advertisement for me. Do you like me, or do you like what I produce here? Half an hour of original stimulation and humour and education every Monday, Wednesday and Friday like clockwork. Well, if you do, you can help support this enterprise, help encourage and maintain the arts without it costing you a single penny. All you have to do is remember every time you're going to buy anything on Amazon to go through my links intoyourhead.com/offers. Just click through my link to Amazon.com or Amazon UK or Amazon Canada, and then anything you buy, I get a major commission. Doesn't cost you anything extra, helps the show, helps me do this. And also, if you go to intoyourhead.com/offers, you can find other affiliates for pet foods, spectacles that you can buy online and have delivered anywhere in the world to your house, and all the rest of it. Loads of other stuff. There's piles of stuff there. Intoyourhead.com/offers. And if you'd like to advertise on the show or avail of my other services, see intoyourhead.com/services. Absolutely fucking fantastic. On with the show.
Hi, this is Chad from the OnSug Network, and when I travel virtually in the computer, I go into your head. Now boarding. Into your head, into your head.
I've just put the ketchup on the last burrito.
Now, I know what you're thinking there. You're thinking, Christ, Adam and Eve. He's obsessed with Adam and Eve. It's Adam and Eve this, Adam and Eve that, Adam and Eve the other. Well, it all started there, according to a lot of people anyway. It all started with Adam and Eve sitting there I remember as far back as age 14, when I started getting into Guns N' Roses. We got Use Your Illusion 1 on audio cassette, and we got Use Your Illusion 2 on audio cassette. There was a song on one of them about Adam and Eve, something, Garden of Eden. So you couldn't even be into filthy rock music without coming across this tale of a man and a woman stuck on some paradisical desert island somewhere with a snake and an apple. I've been watching Lost recently, as I believe I mentioned earlier. I haven't seen any snakes on that yet. I've seen apples. They haven't seemed to done done any harm. Apples are depicted, they're depicting apples in a positive light there. Apples are depicted as being fruit, the one food they can get on the island that doesn't need to be killed or hunted down or fought before they can eat it. Oh, you can just grab an apple off it. Although now that you mention it, I do remember seeing a fella eating an apple on one of the paddies on it, eating an apple in a menacing way. I can't remember the exact details, but no, there's something happens with the apple. But I don't think you can blame the apple for that. No more than you can blame an AAA battery for fueling a nuclear weapon. Not least because are nuclear weapons fueled by batteries? I don't know. Maybe they're fueled by nuclear power. But surely just as when you have an electric generator, that has to be fueled by some other fuel. Although I suppose you could fuel it by electricity. Would just be a bit pointless. I guess, I'll generate this electricity and I'll use it to power an electrical generator, which will generate the exact same amount of electricity, presumably, that I put into it, because that's how physics works. You can't create energy. You put in energy and you take out energy. That's my understanding. Anything that existed all along. It's just been converted from something else. Did I get that right? I don't know. I was never an expert in physics or any other scientific field. I know how to record a podcast. That much I do, but that's not going to get you anywhere. I don't really worry about how much electrical energy I put into this, although I do power down my computer when I'm not using it. I unplug the microphone because it doesn't have an off switch. What else do I do? I unplug everything basically when I'm not using it, because these are recessionary times we're living here in Ireland. You can't be just leaving everything plugged in and switched on, especially the law. I don't leave the lawnmower plugged in when I'm not using it. I don't leave the cats. Where am I going with this? I don't know. I think I'm getting a bit overconfident because I got the first 20 or so minutes of the show done relatively quickly today, and I'm here in the last 10 minutes trying to fly through it. No, don't get cocky, Neil. Don't get above yourself there. You still have to try with these things. You're not on autopilot, even if you are. Autopilots have a bad name thanks to Leslie Nielsen in the 70s with that thing with the blow up autopilot thing and the fellatio in that movie. I believe it was called Airplane. Apparently if you call the movie Airplane rather than Aeroplane, that makes it a wacky comedy, especially if there's a fella being fellated by a blow up autopilot doll. I can't remember the exact details. Suffice to say, words matter, and if you change the name of a movie from Aeroplane to Airplane, but then of course wasn't there one called Airplane 509 or some number or other, and that was a serious disaster movie. But no, if it's just Airplane, exclamation mark, maybe it's the exclamation mark that makes the difference. I don't know. Kids nowadays though, they don't know what they're doing with these fucking punctuation marks. You see them on Facebook and they'll say hello, something 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 something, and it'll be a question, but then they'll put 6 question marks after it and a couple of exclamation marks as well for good measure, supposedly. I would call that bad measure. This system of punctuation is such that you only need one of these put in, and if you put in 2, then what am I supposed to interpret that? He's put in a question mark, but then he's put in a second question mark. Is that supposed to mean I don't know whether this is a question and I'm asking you whether or not this is a legitimate question? Then do you think you got that figured out? They put in a third question mark and you think, Christ, now he's questioning whether or not it's okay to question his question, and then he puts in a 4th exclamation mark and you think, Christ, now he's questioning whether he's right or wrong to question whether or not it's right or wrong to question whether or not he should be posing this question in the first place, which is 5 question marks, not 4. You see how this gets confused. So young people can have some bit bit of self-control. Control how many. It's okay to use 3 question marks as long as you have a reason for each additional one. So just put 1 if it's just a fucking question, for Christ's sake. Same goes for exclamation marks and full stops. Don't be putting 4 full stops at the end of a sentence as if the sentence trails off and there's an ending of it somewhere. If you're going to put ... at the end of something, you damn well better have left something out, or you better be about to continue it later, or you better be asking me how the sentence ends because you don't know, in which case you should put a question mark at the end. Have a bit of self-control, people. You don't need to be overusing these things. If you overuse things, then we run out of them. That's what happened with petrol. That's why we're all driving electric cars now, because as they warned back in the 60s, the petrol ran out several years ago. There's no petrol left. We've bled the world dry of fuels, and now everyone's going around in these. I saw an electric car charger outside an Eddie Rockets a couple of weeks ago up in City West Shopping Centre. They had a big green sign, because that's the colour of electricity now. In my day, petrol was thought to be green. I used to always think petrol was green before I had access to a car and before I had reason to use a pump. I pump petrol now into my car. I don't drive it, but I pump the petrol in. And I know from the many times that I spilled petrol on myself that sure as Christ the hell isn't green, which I suppose is good, because if I spilled green stuff all over my trousers, people are going to think I don't know how to blow my nose. And then I can tell you, there won't be, they think that fella is so young that he doesn't know how to blow his nose. He certainly shouldn't be using our petrol pumps. So you can get back in the passenger seat and let the driver do it. And I'll tell you, the driver of my car is enough to be doing without pumping petrol.
Into your head.
Anyway, it's time to start winding down today's show, drawing it to a conclusion, wrapping up all the points we've made into one tiny bundle, because that's what you expect of the media nowadays. Everything needs to be summarised. Well, here is a summary of today's show. Adam and Eve produced a mixed race. Meat becomes salted somehow or another. Cats don't like skimmed milk because of the water thing. Physics probably works. If you spill petrol on your trousers, people think you're a child. That's about it. There's some other stuff in there. If you want to hear the other stuff, just go and listen back to the last half hour or so. Don't listen to this bit, because this is just a summary. This is just the nightcap of today's show, if you will. Despite it being 10:14 a.m. of a Monday morning, we're having a nightcap here. Not literally. Well, yes, literally. Just a different meaning, a different literal meaning than you're used to. I'm not sitting here drinking frigging brandy out of a glass, lying in bed. No. I'm up here, hyped up on caffeine, basically, yeah, I'm hyped up on start stimulation drink, caffeine pills. Haven't had any coffee yet. No, haven't had any fucking coffee today. Couldn't be arsed. I thought, no, I've drank some energy drink. I don't want to be pissing all morning, so I'll skip the coffee. Haven't had any breakfast yet now that you... Well, I go and have breakfast. This is exporting to the appropriate software from which I will create today's episode. Maybe I will. Maybe it shouldn't matter to you. It's all post-production. It shouldn't matter to you what I do after I've said goodbye to you at the end of this show. You're only allowed these half-hour windows into my life. Although in actual fact it's more than half an hour. This takes more than half an hour to perform this half-hour episode, I hope you know. Usually takes about half a day. Maybe more, maybe less, depending on the mood and the conditions of the day and the conditions of me and the availability of stimulants and whether or not they work and the availability of imaginary powers in my mind. all varies. It's completely unpredictable, and that's why I'll make no predictions now as to how long this episode will take to make, although it seems to be pretty much made now. All I have to do now is the technical stuff and fill in the next minute and a quarter or so, and then we'll have enough for that. That's what this is for. This last 2 minutes and 53 seconds, all bullshit. It's all here as filler, because I've noticed the show was only 26 minutes long, and I need to finish it off with this closing. So this is filler. I've been wasting your time for the last 3 minutes and 8 seconds. I could have just left it at 26 minutes long, but then of course people will say, oh, he's left us short today. Look at that. That's only 26 minutes long. He's ripped us off. Why didn't he add another 4 minutes of just anything, any old filler, any crap, filler crap like this? He could even spend 4 minutes discussing the fact that he's adding filler here, and then we'll feel, I'll tell you, then we'll feel like we've got justice and value for money, because we're morons, because that's how the world works now. They'll say, that programme was cut 10 minutes short now because there's a soccer match. They're ripping us off. That's what I used to think when I watched the BBC Saturday morning television programmes. Sometimes they'd cut them short at the end for some sport that was happening earlier than usual for a Saturday afternoon. And I'd say, oh Christ, they're cutting down on children's programmes just to put in some sport. Absolute rip-off. Then I remembered that this was a BBC programme, and my parents were Irish TV licensee fee payers, so it's not like we were funding the BBC programming, we were getting it for free. Then I remembered we had cable TV, so we were paying the cable company to transmit this to us, and then I remembered I couldn't remember whether or not the BBC got a cut of that. I don't remember that. In either case, I just wanted to see today's episode of Clarissa Explains It All, and I won't be able to. Then, of course, someone invented digital TV, and I got 8 million channels, and now I have 8 channels that show whatever today's version of Clarissa Explains It All is. But now I'm too old to watch it, and I don't want to have no interest in it anymore. So that's what time does to you. So don't go asking for more time, because all it does is cause you to not want it anymore. That's the lesson to be learned from this. Anyway, good morning.
Sit, Pippi, sit. Good cat.